gang? It's the verbally sadistic savage Crispy, a.k.a. Sir Fucks-a-Lot, a.k.a. The Savage. And this is a story time with Crispy. I never really got to tell this story, but I still will never forget the day this happened. So it all happened, I forget which grade I was in. I think I was in 10th grade. Yeah, I was in 10th grade. And I had a best friend. Me and him are still best friends. My other best friend, D Money. Um, we were stoners in high school. I was a big stoner in high school. It's no news. I'm still a stoner even after high school. But this day was absolutely fucking nuts. And when I say nuts, I mean it was probably not the craziest thing I've done, but the most intense fucking experience I've ever had. So it was 10th grade year. He was a grade above me. He was in 11th grade. D Money was. And I had a friend that knew how to make edibles. And I always wanted to try edibles. So he made us weed brownies. And he brought them into school, which was not a very bright idea. And I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there. I don't condone getting high at school, but it's part of the teenage experience. I'm just going to say that now. Make good choices. Don't be stupid like we were. So me and D Money met up at lunch because it was an Act 80 day. And Act 80 day, for those that don't know, it might be something different where you go to school at. Or where I went to school at, Act 80 day was when your schedule would be fucked. So you would have lunch, then you would have second period, I think. I forget how the order was. So we went to lunch, met up with my homie that made these brownies. I'm going to call him Jay Sweeze. That was his nickname that I knew him as. So Jay Sweeze makes the hookup. And he's telling us, yo, you guys are fucking crazy. You're going to take these at school? And I said, why the hell not? You know, and that's how I was as a teenager. Like, I wouldn't think about the consequences. I'd always be like, I always had a saying. G-Man knows the saying. My best friend G-Man, he knows the saying. The question's not why, it's why the hell not. I always had that mindset when I was a teenager. I didn't think very brightly when I was a teenager. But then again, we were all young and dumb. You can't deny it when we were specifically teenagers. That's when we did the dumbest shit. But this was pretty fucking crazy. So Jay Sweeze hands us 2 brownies. And they were decent size. They're probably like about that big. And Jay Sweeze said, just bite off a little bit. Don't eat the whole thing. Me and D Money ate the whole fucking brownie. And with edibles, now, I prefer smoking weed because, you know, it's more relaxing. Whereas edibles, I always thought were more, not psychedelic. I always thought edibles were just more intense. So keep in mind, when you do edibles, you're supposed to wait a few minutes just for them to kick in. But we ate the whole fucking thing. No repercussions, no warm-ups. We just raw dogged it. We fucking said it. So we're at lunch. We're eating the brownies. And they didn't smell like weed, but goddamn did they taste like weed. I don't know what kind of weed that he used or what strain, but all I can tell you was they fucking tasted like bud. That's what they tasted. They tasted like pure dank with a little bit of a chocolatey taste. So we eat the brownies at lunch, and then I remembered me and D Money were in the same gym class. And this year at school, I forgot that it was mile run day. And for those who don't know what the mile run is, every gym I'm pretty sure does it. When you're in high school, they make you run around the football field, like to do a whole mile with the whole class. And it occurred to me before I even ate the thing, I didn't take into reconsideration that we had fucking gym and we were doing the mile run because it was Act 80 day. So we go in the gym, we get dressed, and Mr. L, our gym teacher, says, all right, who's ready to do the mile run? And didn't film yet because, again, you got to remember, it takes a couple minutes for your metabolism to metabolize the THC in the edibles, which is why I don't fuck with edibles because they're very intense and they hit you harder than smoking bud. Eating bud is a whole different walk in the park if you haven't done it. I suggest if you are going to try edibles, be responsible. But we were two young, dumb fucking stoner teenagers, so we weren't thinking wisely. We were at fucking school, which is bad enough. Weed in school was already enough to get you in some pretty serious shit, but we didn't care. We were rebellious little shits, me and my friends were. What we weren't supposed to do in school, we would fucking do it. So lunch is passed. We're getting ready to go out to the football field to do the mile run. And I always hated the mile run because I think it was because I was, I was a chubby motherfucker when I was in high school and I hated physical activity. It wasn't because I was a stoner. It was because I was just genuine lazy as a teenager. I didn't like to fucking move around a lot. But now that I'm 25 and older, I can't fucking just sit down now that I work at a job to where I'm always on my feet. So back on with the story. So we're heading out to the football field, and I think right at this moment, we're starting our first lap. So the first lap, feeling normal. And right around the second lap, I think that's when it started to kick in. Things were starting to feel fucking wild. So when you smoke weed, you almost feel it instantly, depending on the grade of cannabis that you are consuming. But these edibles, for being homegrown, I don't even know if the weed was homegrown or if we bought it off somebody. But after the second lap, I started to feel it. And I'm like, holy fuck. Not too intense yet. It's not too intense yet. So we're doing the second lap. And I think I really started to feel it around the fourth lap because I'm fucking out of it on the fourth lap. I'm thinking I'm lapping everybody and shit. I think I'm ahead of everybody. I'm lapping all the other classmates until I hear the gym teacher saying, Mr. R, you might want to pick the pace up. You and Mr. F are getting a little behind. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're lapping these motherfuckers. He's like, no. They're lapping you. Is everything all right? We didn't tell them that we ate weed brownies before the mile run. And because you got to remember, weed slows your time perception down, which is why you got to be responsible when you smoke or when you take fucking edibles. Keep in mind, we're fucking teenagers. We're doing stupid shit as it is. We're doing the fucking mile run well baked off of our asses. So I catch up to D Money, who ironically is lapping me. Because, he was he's more skinnier than I was. Even still is that. It's still how it is. Because the skinnier you are, the quicker it hits you. And the little more heavier you are, the more you have to ingest. Or it takes a little longer to activate within your body. So I catch up to D Money, who, like I said, is ironically in front of me. And he's just laughing like a fucking idiot, but there's nothing funny going on. He's like, yo, Jay, dude, holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, man, how are you feeling? He's like, oh, I feel it. I definitely feel it. But goddamn, are my legs on fire? And then I'm like, your fucking legs are on fire? He's like, no, bro, no. Like my muscles, I feel my muscles toning. I'm like, oh, thank God you had me worried there for a second. Because we're both stoned out of our fucking mind. Nobody knows that we're stoned out of our fucking mind. We're just too busy focusing on the high and how intense it is. We're not focused on whether we're lapping, who's lapping who. Because, dude, our time perception is fucked. We have these potent-ass brownies in our system. We're already behind, even though D-Money is lapping me. I'm at this point, I'm the one that's more fucking stoned than D-Money is. D-Money's pretty baked, but I think I was out of it. We were both out of it. I mean, we're both fucking. We don't even know how many milligrams or how much cannabis was put into these brownies. All we know is they hit like a fucking freight train. So to describe how it hit me, right? So when you smoke weed, you know what you're getting into. You already know what to expect, even though weed affects people differently when they smoke it. And edibles, since they take a while to kick in, you never know when they're more like a creeper thing, so you don't know exactly when they're gonna kick in. But when they do kick in, you can't go back because you already fucking ate them. And that's what was wild about this shit. So we're both stoned. Finally, skipped the mile run. We're still pretty high. We didn't ask our friend, my homie Jay Sweeze, how long they last. And I think a typical edible high lasts a little longer than when you smoke. Because when you smoke, it can last from maybe a few minutes, maybe a couple hours, depending on how potent and how much THC is in the cannabis. But we didn't think that through. We just wanted to eat these fucking brownies and be high at school to make the day interesting. But goddamn, was that a bad idea? Now, we weren't paranoid. We were just so high. The two of us, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. I mean, we knew we were high, but, like functioning wise, we were just fucking out of it. I felt like Johnny Depp when he was playing Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but minus the lizards and shit. So there's the first round. So it's still in our systems even after gym class is over. And since this is Act 80 Day, it was 8th period. And for my 8th period, I had World Cultures. Oh, wait, no, it was 11th grade year. Shit, I fucked that up. Yeah, it was 11th grade year. So it's 8th period. I'm heading to fucking World Cultures. And the teacher is pretty chill that I have, Mr. M. He was always my favorite teacher, my 11th and senior year. And I loved World Cultures. We learned about cool shit. So keep in mind, his classroom is upstairs of our school. It's on the top floor of our fucking school. It's upstairs. So I thought the shit was out of my system. The brownies, the high was fading. But I realized I still felt pretty and, my vision was kind of fuzzy and shit. So so I leave gym and I head upstairs. I head on to World Cultures for 8th period. And I'm still feeling the effects of these fucking brownies that we ate. I don't know if D Money was still fucked up off of the brownies, but I was. I could definitely tell I was because I could not fucking walk straight. Like, how when you're like really baked and it almost makes your legs feel like jelly? That's what my fucking legs felt like. They felt very light. I feel very lightheaded still. And my vision is it's just fuzzy. That's the only way I could describe how my vision was. Fuzzy. Like I could still see clear and tell what I'm doing, but with the THC from the edibles kicking in, my vision was not the best. It wasn't like impaired, but I could tell from my point of view, the shit I was seeing, it was very high def until 8th period comes. So I'm in 8th period, the bell rings, the warning bell, then the final bell rings, and I'm sitting at my desk. Everybody's like, "You all right, JJ?" I'm like, "I'm fine, man. I'm feeling fucking great." Because I'm baked. They don't know I'm baked. The teacher doesn't know I'm baked. And at our schools, throughout high school, we didn't have chalkboards. We had, they call them Promethean boards. They're like a projector board. Like you still have a projector, for the teacher to put the shit on the board. So where it really got intense was during 8th period. So I'm at my desk. The teacher's saying his thing. I'm in a whole other fucking universe at this point. I just could not keep my eyes off of the Promethean board because I'm stoned. I ate God knows how many milligrams were in these brownies. I'm trying to focus, but that fucking Promethean board is the only thing I can keep my eyes on, and I'm going to explain you why it was intense. So this must have been the peak of when it really fucking started to kick in. So I'm staring at the Promethean board. I'm not even listening to the teacher. At this point, I am fucking baked. I'm not even high. I'm fucking stoned, and I know it. Because I'm just staring off at this fucking Promethean board. And what made it intense was the reason why I kept staring at the Promethean board in the classroom was because it had this like melting checkered like look to it. Like it wasn't like an acid trip. I mean, I've never done acid, but to give you an idea, so let's say here's the Promethean board. So this is the Promethean board. I'm staring at it, and it's just like fucking pulsing. But it's a whiteboard, but it has this checkered pattern on it. I'm like, holy fucking! I'm just sitting there like this. This is me the whole time. Teacher's talking. I'm just sitting there stoned off my ass. It was fucking funny, but it was intense. So I'm staring at the Promethean board, and then I hear the teacher, because if you were off guard in his class, Mr. M had a pointer stick, and if he knew you weren't paying attention, he would smack it dead center of your desk. And that's what he did to me. And it fucking, I don't know what it did because I'm still high. So, but it definitely made me pay attention. But I couldn't stop laughing. Like, the whole class went silent, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm fucking baked. I'm like, and Mr. M just fucking, like, you can literally hear his stick, his pointer stick, smack off of my desk. And he says, Mr. R, pay attention. He would never yell at you if you were slacking in class, but he would do that. That was one of his methods. He would smack that stick, the pointer thing that he points to the Promethean board with, off the center of your desk. And it scared the shit out of me. Because when I first heard it, like, I could hear the vibration of it, like, just echoing in my ears. That's how stoned I was. Like, it was echoing. It was fucking crazy. Like, it was kind of like like, that's what it sounded like, to give you an idea. I can't explain it, but that's close to what I can explain to it. So after that, I finally start paying attention, but it's still hard because I'm still focused. Like, I'm just looking around the classroom. Like, everything is just so fucking trippy at this point. Like, the teacher, like, the classmates all look normal, but just that Promethean board, I remember being intense. I could not stop staring at it. My focus was on the Promethean board and this, like, pulsating checkered, like, pattern, like, not like a hieroglyph, but like a checkered flag. That's what the fucking Promethean board, a checkered flag, dead center of the Promethean board, but it's like doing that bowling ball effect, like popping in and out. And I'm like blinking at it. And then, so Mr. M has no fucking clue that I'm baked in his class, unless he did know, but he just didn't say anything. Because, you know, Mr. M was, I think he's a stoner, which I'm mad respect. I'm a stoner too. He was always into the Grateful Dead. Like, he had the Grateful Dead flag with the bears walking around the sugar skull, the skull logo of the Grateful Dead in his classroom. And his room always smelled like incense. That's probably why I liked his class so much. But yeah, I remember that Promethean board fucking threw me off. And then finally, I think the brownies were starting to wear off, and I was able to grasp, like, I finally was able to get a grip on reality. I'm just like looking at my friend Jay. We have the same name, and I'm laughing. He's like, "Bro, are you high?" You know, Jay, my friend Jay. I'm like, "What? You can tell?" He's like, "I kind of figured, man. You were focusing on that fucking whiteboard more than you were the whole class, and I thought it was funny." And, you know, since I'm sobered up now and I've come down from the edibles, I look at Jay and I tell him, "Don't tell anybody," which he wouldn't. I said, "But me and another friend ate these potent ass weed brownies that he bought in, and I think that's why I was unable to focus in fucking world cultures." And then after that, the final bell rings to dismiss us, and it was time to go home. It was time to go home. I mean, it was first period, time to go to first period, because I remember on Act 80 day, it would go like you'd have your gym. And for me, gym that year on an Act 80 day, it was usually second period, then it would go 8. And then after 8th period, your final class of the day was first period. So I'm back at my homeroom, which was life skills. The weed's out of my system. I'm able to comprehend shit that is around me. I'm not stoned anymore. I'm finally back in reality. And then after that, I remember I went home, played some fucking Xbox, and then I fell asleep. I slept good that night. But yeah, so that was the story of me and a friend ate weed brownies before the mile run. It was fucking wild. I will never forget it. Like, I still remember it as if it was like yesterday. We were both stoned. We were so fucking stoned that we thought we were lapping everybody during the mile run, even though the gym teacher, Mr. L, was yelling at us for slacking. I was fucking tripping off of the weed brownies in world cultures class, staring at the bowling ball effect that was happening in the checkered pattern that was all over the fucking Promethean board. I will just never forget that day. But it was fun. It was stupid, yes, but it was fun. You do dumb shit when you're a teenager in high school for fun. So let me know in the comments, what was a wild story you had with cannabis? Or when was the time you got really high from an edible? Leave that in the comments. And if you like these stories, give them a thumbs up and smash the fuck out of that notification bell for more story times with Crispy in the future. I'm Crispy, and this has been Story Time with Crispy. Thanks for watching. Stay stoned. Keep it real. Fuck her right in the pussy. Peace.